Hello, I'm Tony. I've got another story for you. See, I was raised in the Roman Catholic Church, and I became an altar boy. That's basically helping the priest out when he says a mass. And my brother joined as an altar boy a few years later. So I was about, maybe 12 or 14 in that area there someplace. My brother was, shucks, he must have been only 6 or 7. But we were serving this one mass they call benediction. It was an evening mass. And you've got to think this, you got to see this church that we went to. The original church, big, tall structure with a high steeple. Well, it burned down, I think, before I was born. It burned down, and I guess all they did was cleaned up the mess and used the basement of that church for the new church, and all they really built on there was a new sacristy. That's the part of the church where the priest says the mass, for those that don't know. But the thing is, the whole church was, fairly low, maybe 12-foot ceiling, and long. The sacristy part was itself quite tall, and it had a beautiful ornate altar that they put up there. And the thing about this church is the acoustics in there was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, you could whisper at the front and be heard at the back of this church. So my brother and I were serving this one benediction service, and the only ones that actually showed up at benediction service were these old people that are getting ready to die, right? They're all sitting in their pews or kneeling in their pews, and they got their rosaries that clickety-clack against the seats, and you can hear them all just humming, gobble, gobble, And we were serving this one mass. It was quiet in there, just quiet. And my brother was kneeling at the foot of the altar, and my position was a bit further back. And the atmosphere of this mass is just quiet and dignified and so holy. And my brother cuts a fart, and it just whap, 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 as it echoes around. And it was just so incongruous and so out of place that I started laughing. And then my brother started laughing, and then when he laughed, he farted again. Just whap, 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 whap. Whoa. And then we laughed more. And the priest is kind of going, ooh, it's just... he was probably having a hard time from laughing too. So the more my brother laughed, the more he farted. Just bang, boom, bang, 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 echoing through the church like that. Oh, man. And all these old people at the back of the church, I think they didn't know what was going on. The sound of it, I think they probably thought it was the end of the world. Stuff echoing through the church like that. Yeah. And the more he laughed, the more he farted. And the more he farted, the more he laughed. And so holy, so incredibly holy, it didn't work very well. I figured that church, that priest is going to kill us. But he never did. And I'll bet you a cookie, they're still telling stories about that. We'll talk to you later.